Welcome back to The Polls. With us now is Dr. Monica Larson, running for Henderson City Council, Ward 2. Dr. Larson, welcome to The Polls.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Before we get into the questions, please tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I am a transplant from California. We moved several years ago. I am a clinical and forensic psychologist by trade, but I retired. And what that means, because sometimes people aren't quite sure, I used to treat sex offenders for the state of California to prevent recidivism and harming another individual. And then I treated victims of crime, men, women, and children, and traditional clientele. And I still speak now here in Nevada about human trafficking and child exploitation, because Nevada's #2 in the nation.
Mm-hmm. Give us some idea where Henderson Council Ward 2 is, like streets or landmarks.
Sure.
Where Ward 2 is covered.
So it would be from the M Casino, and it covers the subdivisions Inspirada, Anthem, Seven Hills, down Sunridge Heights to Horizon Ridge, all the way down to Mission Street. It's a large area.
So it's like south of the St. Rose Parkway, most of it. Okay. From M all the way to like the hills over there by,
past Gibson.
All right.
Yes.
You are challenging in this election Councilman Dan Shaw.
Yes.
Okay? What are the issues important to you and your constituents that made you decide to run for the city council?
Yeah, for me personally, because I had actually retired within my profession, I planned to just decompress and get a lay of the land and enjoy. But we started having quite a bit of crime, which is the #1 issue in our area. Public safety is paramount to me. It wasn't little things either. It was attempted home invasions, vehicle thefts, attempted break-ins, peeping toms, attempted child abduction. And this all occurred within a short time period. And so I consistently contacted our current councilman, my opponent, and he didn't return any calls. And so I went door to door. And I used to work at my police department, or volunteer at my police department when I lived in California for 4.5 years. And so I had a squad, I had a partner, and we did anything that the officers needed. And so I just started going door to door, and I said, look, we've lost a sense of community. We need to get back to knowing each other. So I started the Neighborhood Watch program with Henderson Police Department. And I patrol myself, including the other neighbors, as retired police, retired military, and myself. But that's what deterred the crime. Public safety is paramount. If you don't have public safety, you have no quality of life, and that includes fire. And so within my community, public safety is the #1 issue because crime has increased. And we've grown so much as a community. We're over 344,000 in population. And the FBI says for a community that size that we should have 2.3 patrol officers per 1,000 residents, almost 2.4. And unfortunately, because public safety hasn't been prioritized, we're at 0.6. We're critically low. And that goes for fire as well. So public safety is first and foremost. Secondly is our educational system.
Yes.
We have vacillated, it depends on who you talk to, between 46th and 49th out of 50 states, which is terrible. We need to improve, and part of that I want to improve. We have great charter schools, which I want to continue that because they're thriving. Unfortunately, they can only accept so many students.
Yes, I can imagine.
Clark County is too large, and you've seen everything in the news almost on a weekly basis with Clark County. They're too large to manage all of these areas. So I've been speaking with legislature to break us up, to get us our own independent school system so that parents and guardians can have an actual options and give these kids a fighting chance, because it's incredibly important. And lastly, which is not least by any means, is fiscal responsibility and transparency. Unfortunately, right now, that's one of the biggest reasons also that I'm running. There is no transparency within this existing city council, and also fiscal responsibility. And so, like, I'll give you an example of that. So our fire chief, former fire chief who retired, was asking for $25 million to provide maintenance for the fire trucks, and there's mold and rats in some of the fire buildings. He was consistently told no. And on the ballot measure for November, we have a property tax increase to pay for that when those funds could have been managed properly.
With Southern Nevada growing, what are some of the challenges the city of Henderson is facing, and what do you believe can be done?
The biggest right now is overdevelopment. We have an overdevelopment issue with apartment buildings every place you turn. In every available space or more apartment buildings, which is not a solution for affordable housing. People want home ownership, and that includes single-family homes or townhomes or even potentially tiny home communities. They want options, and affordable housing apartments aren't that, and so that's an issue. We have with that overdevelopment of apartment buildings, there's more people. Those apartments are 3,200, 3,500, 3,800, 5,000. I don't know about you, but I don't think that's affordable. Many people don't, including police and teachers. But with that comes, they never paced for the infrastructure. That means streets, that means police, that means fire. So because of all this overdevelopment, which is the drive and the push that the current council is focused on, they never thought through and planned for the infrastructure. That's the biggest. Also, again, like I mentioned, education, hospitals, just everything in place to have that quality of life.
We're almost out of time for this segment, Dr. Larson. What would you like to say to your voters? This is your pitch.
Well, what I'd like to say to the voters, please consider voting me. We need a change in Henderson. It cannot be the status quo any longer with special interest, with nepotism, and things like that. You should be able to trust your current council person without having to question their integrity, their residency, and if they have consulting companies, LLC, foundations. A council person should be a person with integrity and honesty and work for the people. And so I'd ask for your vote, please, to make this change that's desperately needed. Because one thing I want to make sure is that no citizen or small business owner ever feels like I did, where I was ignored and your needs matter. And so I just want to let you know I will work hard for you because I care about our community.
We will leave it at that, Dr. Larson. Dr. Monica Larson, candidate for Henderson City Council Ward 2. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you so much.